Good morning. Good morning. It says I'm live here, so I just want to check in with everybody. Let me just check on my page, make sure that I am actually streaming live. And let's see here, Next Level Women's Circle. Let's see, it says Renessa. Let me just get in here and double check where we are. Welcome. Good morning. Keep going on with your life here while I figure out, make sure that we're live. I'm excited to be sharing with you. Let's see, it says I am live. Okay, let me just get onto my system here and make sure that it's showing up. If you can see me, can you comment, I see you? So that way I can see, because it's not showing up for me that I'm live. It is not. So let me see if you can see me on my Facebook. Let me know. And then that way, when I go to edit this video, because as you guys know, Facebook Lives are no longer, they're only allowed to be for 30 days. So after that, it says I'm live. It says, okay, here we are. Okay, good. Well, welcome. Let me just share this into my groups, my awesome ladies. Thank you so much. If you're watching the replay, sisters, this is going to be everything for us. I am so excited to talk to you about this down payment assistance program. The reason why I'm talking about this down payment assistance program is because I don't know how long it's going to last. And I want you guys to take advantage of this. Let me just share this into this system here, because it is going to change the market, meaning that right now we have such a volatile market where interest rates are still in the sixes. And then for down payment assistance programs, it's in the sevens, sometimes up to 8%. And this particular down payment assistance program is 5.7% interest rate. But a lot of people don't understand interest rates. I totally get that. That's okay. They just know that is it high, is it low? Does 5.7 even make sense? So my goal today, as we talk about building wealth, every single week that I come on here is to be able to share with you guys, share with us, our family, as if you were coming to work with me, as if to kind of understand exactly what it's like to know your opportunities in home buying, selling, and investing. This is the time to build your wealth. There is lots of opportunity out there, but if we don't have the tools and the steps and the education, it becomes very confusing and in some cases overwhelming. And then we just stay on the sidelines and we see other people getting ahead, and we can take advantage of those same opportunities. So my support and my process is, number one, ask me anything. If you have a credit question, if you have something that is, I'm going to be going through scenarios on here. My goal is to take what we're doing here and do it like what they do on TikTok, because this is what I do on TikTok. So I'm actually going to be creating one of those after this. So let me just put this in here. I need to get my life together on this right here. So let me just put that here because I'm supposed to be live in my group. Let me just make sure that it's in there. Another big part of what I want to share with each one of you is going to be not just your down payment assistance program, but your lease. So we're going to go into, if you have a lease right now, when should you be getting ready to buy a house? That is a very big question that I want to just answer. And then now I'm fully live and I'm connected. And next week, I'm going to start that earlier so that way we can all be together faster. All right. Let me just take a deep breath and just bring this into our time together. This is your time to just take a minute. I know life is busy. I know lots going on, but take a minute and see how you can invest into your future, because this is a huge opportunity. If you are renting right now, to get $20,000 plus, it's actually maxed, I think, at $21,000 for your down payment. So, and it is forgivable, meaning that you do not have to pay this back. The stipulations are you have to live in the house for 7 years, which my whole goal is to buy and hold, right? And then being able to potentially, after those 7 years, turn that house into a rental house. Actually, even potentially, you just can't sell the house for 7 years. So you do have the opportunity to even turn that into a rental over time. And as long as you don't sell the house within those 7 years, but we want to be able to turn that into eventually an investment property. For some of us, we just want a forever home. I get it. Wanting the forever home is super, super nice and forever so great. But we have to take into account that your first house that you buy probably won't be your forever home unless you're like at a high level in your income, a high level in where you want to be at. And if that's the case, perfect, that's great. But then when you have that equity in your house, how are you leveraging that equity? So we're not going to go into equity investing today. Today, we're just going to be talking about how does down payment assistance work? And what are the qualifications for you to get into a down payment assistance program? And then what you should do when your lease ends. So those are going to be the things that we want to talk about today. And this is going to be a very, very informative time. So you can save this video, put this, send it to one of your family members that, is also maybe their lease is going to be ending in the next 6 to 8 months. And you want to also, or in your situation, being able to know and be knowledgeable of what to do. So first off, when it comes to a lease, there's 3 things that I look at with a lease. Number 1, does your lease owner or the property manager, landlord, do they have a 60 or 90-day notice to vacate? Meaning that if your lease ends, we're just going to use a whole year term. So let's just say you signed a lease and it ends at the end of January. And in some cases, at the end of January, you would need to give a 60-day notice, meaning that by November 1st, you would need to let them know if you plan on staying another year, right? So that's giving a 60-day notice on your lease. If you need a 90-day notice on your lease ending, that means by October 1st, you would have to let them know whether or not you're going to be staying in the property any longer. So that would be by October 1st, if it's a 90-day. If you're going to be buying a house, you would need to be pre-approved at least 60 days of knowing what you need based on credit, income, everything else. If you have and you know that your credit score is above 650, if you know that your income, all of those are on your debt to income ratios, I would be getting checked on my credit 6 months prior to me having to give my landlord a notice. So that would mean if I have to give a notice by October 1st, 6 months prior to that, and actually I put a calendar on here because that's going to be my next thing here. If I have to give my notice by October, I'm looking at my calendar here, then I would need to make sure that 6 months prior to October, look at my calendar, September, August, July, June, May. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. By April, I would need to know if I'm pre-qualified or not. And then I would need to know 6 months in advance what I need to do to get, if I need to update my credit. Sometimes it takes anywhere between 30 to 60 days for things to season off your credit. If we need to pay off a debt, if we need to pay off trade lines, if we need to add a new trade line. I recently worked with a client that had a judgment on her credit that she had no clue about. And we had to go to the courthouse, or she had to go to the courthouse. She had to do all of these things to try to get these judgments off, or this judgment off. And if she would have waited until October to start this, she would have had to sign another whole lease. So this is where time is your best friend if you're a renter, but you have to be ahead of the game. So for instance, if in April gives you that 6-month leeway, then within those 6 months, you should be doing a soft pull on your credit with somebody like me who's a mortgage loan advisor. And you should be finding out what your credit score is and what your debt to income ratios are and what programs you pre-qualify for. That way, basically, if I keep where I'm at, what would be my monthly payment? How much house can I purchase? Am I in the 300,000, 400,000, 500,000, 600,000? Really knowing exactly where you're at 6 months in advance, because in that situation, you can really decide, is that the houses that I'm pre-qualified for, is that where I want to live at? Is that number something I want to be? Am I comfortable? Are there homes available in my price point in the neighborhoods I want to live at? Finding that out right when you have to put your notice into your landlord is extremely stressful. And can I just tell you that the mental health when it comes to being in real estate and being in mortgage, the reason why so many people stay away from this or from these things, let me see my mic, is because, we can hear me, yes, is because this can be a very stressful experience if you're not prepared. And I want you to be prepared. That is the whole idea of buying a house. It shouldn't be so difficult that you're not prepared. So the mental health. So we don't want to get into a place where we're desperate. We want to be in a place where we are prepared in that. Okay, so now we know that in April we need to be getting our pre-qualifications, finding out what we can do, if we need to update our credit, change anything in our debt to income ratios. And let me give you a quick insight of that. I recently had a client who was wanting to qualify for a house, and he has 2 car payments on his credit. And based on his income, with his 2 car payments, he was only able to afford $225,000. And since, let me turn this off because I'm just updating my TikTok here to do my live. And so being that he had only $225,000, he couldn't afford the homes that he needed for his family didn't match 225. It didn't. So he goes, Renessa, how can I get approved for more? This is my max income. How am I able to get approved for more house if this is the most that I make? And I had to go through, and we went through his debts to come to find out his girlfriend has been paying one of the car payments on her account every month for the last year. So I said, do you have bank statements, when we went through everything, showing that those payments for her car payment have been coming out of her account and not your account? And he said, yes, I do. Perfect. So because we had those bank statements, we were able to take off a $450 payment off of his debt to income ratios. And he was able to get approved for $340,000. Then he calls me up and goes, Renessa, I got a raise. Can I get approved for more? Absolutely. Give me your new numbers and send me your new pay stub. Now he got approved. I think it was like up to 360 plus thousand. So now we're in a place where he thought he was at 225 with the original numbers that we have. And this is why it's so important for you to work with somebody that understands your whole credit report. Your credit report is one thing, but everything we can dive into to find out, right? So now he's approved for more house that he's able to go and purchase, all because we were able to find out in time. And imagine if he would have said, hey, 1 month, I'm going to make the payment on my credit, on my bank statement. It would have changed everything for him. The lenders and the banks would have been like, hey, listen, we can't, you're now paying that's your debt. But because now I can give the lenders 12 months of bank statement showing. So this just also goes to give insight that if you are co-signing or paying for somebody else, or co-signing to give somebody else a car or something on the credit, it's not yours, you can actually, with the lending side, obviously case by case scenario, being able to work around that. As long as we have proof that the other person is paying, we have to source it. Everything has to be sourced in the mortgage world. So let me just go into this real quick. Another big part of the down payment assistance program, or let's go back to the lease part. Sorry. The lease is going to be, when we find out where you are pre-qualified at, is to get a list of homes. So the first thing you need to do is find out your month that you're going to be ending. When does it vacate? And I'm going to put this in like a little list. Go ahead and comment or put in there, hey, I would like to find out how my what I call it, my lease countdown, lease ending countdown. And then being able to, after you find out when your lease ends, being able to count back to get your soft credit pull so we can find out how much debt to income ratio you're at. Once we get that, we get our purchase price. You need a list of homes in your preferred area. This is where we actually need to keep an eye on the market so you can be able to see if there's opportunities for you to be able to purchase a home. We want to make this real, right? So if you're able to start seeing houses, you're able to start seeing, okay, this is what I can do. And so getting out of your lease, you're starting to mentally and emotionally prepare yourself to move. This is important for our mental health. So when you are prepared, you start gearing towards things. You might, start packing up things differently. You might be buying things differently. You might even stop buying because you want to see what the vibe is going to be in your new home, right? Because you're in this mental, emotional place where your next home you want to start getting ready for. And when you don't have that energy place of expectation that, hey, in 12 months or in 6 months, I'm going to be looking for a house, then it ends up feeling like it just creeped up really fast on you, and it becomes overwhelming. It becomes, people deal with anxiety. People, I have as a mortgage loan officer, has had to walk many of my clients through creating a calm space in the home buying process, because it can feel a lot, especially when you're touring 5, 6 homes a day. You have to pick one particular house. And let me tell you, you feel it when you walk in the house. You feel like, this is the kitchen I want to cook in. This is the living room. This is the view. This is my master bed, or my primary bedroom. This would be the room for my children. This is my backyard. This is my, you will feel it when you walk into your home and you're like, this is the one I want, Renessa. And that to me is like my best part of what I get to do. But all the homework prior to this, that's where most loan officers and most real estate agents don't have the knowledge and or the background to give you this, right? So, and that's okay. Everyone's doing their best. But to me, when I'm starting brand new, I need a place, a safe space that I can be able to really uncover what I'm about to go through in this journey in a positive, encouraging, supportive, safe space. So that's one of the biggest things that I provide for my clients, is giving that space to ask as many questions, go, feel the emotions, but don't let them hold you back. Okay. So now that we know that our lease is going to be ending 6 months, we've got our list of homes. We're preparing our home, our mental mindset with our list. We're also checking off anything we need to do. We're also checking off, like, if you need to be paying down debts, if you need to be adding a new trade line, if you need to be checking on anything that's on your credit that you didn't know that was on your credit. We're also going through and just really making sure that the time that we get for you to buy your house, you are ready to buy your house. Like, there's no doubt that you're not going to get approved. And to me, that is so comforting to know that when I am at the place where I need to give my 90-day notice or my 60-day notice to my landlord, my property management company, I'm approved. And there's no second guessing. And there's that, to me, is like, so to give you that experience, start earlier. Most of my clients, I start with them right when they sign that 1-year lease. Right when they sign that 1-year lease, because I look at it that technically in January, if you signed your 1-year lease, you technically have 9 months to get yourself prepared. If there's more than 9 things that you need to do on your credit, if there's more than 9 things you need to do every month to make payments to buy down your debts, let me just turn this off. There we go. That's going to be important for you. So really time is of your essence. So a lot of my clients, I put them on a countdown calendar. The countdown calendar basically gives them the steps that you need to do to be able to know exactly what you need to do every single month up to your 90 or 60-day lease announcement, whether you're going to be renewing your lease or not renewing your lease. This is a big, big part. And if you can walk in that space in comfort and knowing that that is what you're supposed to do, it gives me great, great, great vibes and energy to know that the people I'm working with aren't stressed out, right? Because that stress can then go to me when it's like, okay. So the last part of this, so that's kind of your lease breakdown. If you're interested in getting our lease countdown calendar, our countdown calendar, please just email me. Go ahead and put in the comments. I believe that the countdown calendar provides a level of mental health to knowing on paper what you exactly need to do to get pre-qualified, and or in some cases, maybe you're not pre-qualified. Maybe your credit, your debts, your income aren't ready aren't knowledgeable or aren't ready to be in that space, at least you know now. At least you know, okay, it's going to take, actually, I just talked to a client the other day, and his bankruptcy is not going to be seasoned until 2027. And I told him, I said, hey, listen, as much as I want to help you between now and then, this is your time to stack up money, save. He makes very good income. And work on your credit, get yourself into the 700s. So when you can buy, you're like, you can pick any program you want. You can be able to get the best interest rate that's available, and you can have the most opportunities because you did the work. And in the next 2 years, in between now and then, it's going to give you some time to really see what happens in this market. Now, the sad part is that he's ready to buy right now. He's spending close to $3,000 a month on rent. So he's spending $36,000 a year. You times that by the next 2 years, he's spending over $70,000 on somebody else's rent, on somebody else's mortgage. And so that is going to be like the part that I look at when it comes to why we wouldn't want to buy, right? Because we don't want to give our money away if we don't have to. And next week, I'll be talking about how you turn your house payments, which is every month you're going to have to pay. He has to pay that $3,000 every single month towards his rent. Why not turn that $3,000, that house payment, into an actual investment by buying real estate, letting that real estate continue to appreciate, to build equity, and using that equity to buy more investment properties or build a business or create multiple streams of revenue. So you have to pay to live somewhere anyways. Why not pay somewhere where you're going to actually get paid back? So that's a big, big part of why I believe in real estate. And I personally have leveraged getting paid back multiple times on my properties. So I know what that's like to be able to receive monthly income from rental properties. And I love it and I'm thankful for it, but I was not taught this information growing up. So my job is to teach that now. Okay, last part to this, and then we're going to wrap it up because I want to be under 30 minutes. My goal was to be like 15, 20 minutes, but this is me sharing my love and heart with each one of you guys, and being able to give you the opportunity to experience what it's like to work with somebody like me and what my insights are when it comes to mental health, your growth, when it comes to buying or selling a home or investing in real estate, because it's not just a tangible thing. There's a part of you that's happening, that's up leveling. And when you're up leveling your life, it becomes uncomfortable because you've never done this. And your family probably has never taught you how to do this. And so when you're up leveling and you're stepping into new territory of building your empire, building your wealth, building your cash flow, there's going to be some uncomfortability because it's brand new. If you already knew how to do this, you would have already be this wealthy person in real estate or owning multiple assets that are bringing you multiple streams of revenue. So as we step into something new, the best thing you could do is have a mentor, have somebody that's already been there, that this was their first time, having a coach, having somebody that can guide you along the way. And the best thing is having time. So whenever you're renting, if you're renting right now, your best friend is time, by having that time coupled with a mentor. It's very similar. Like if you were to go run the Olympics, right? Or if you were to go run a race, you're not going to want to wait until the day before the race to get on the field. But when it comes to buying a $500,000 house, so many people are waiting to the 90 days of them having to vacate their property and go out there and find. And that's where this becomes so freaking stressful. That is the change that needs to happen in our community. We don't wait to the last minute or the last 90 days to be in a place of desperation to find our next place we're going to live, because then we're stuck with limited answers. If our credit's not where it needs to be, we don't have the right down payment saved up. We don't know what we need to save, our closing costs. We don't know our monthly payment. All of that can be totally avoided if you prepare yourself the day one you sign your lease, the first day. I mean, if I could go into every single apartment complex and housing and property management company and say, hey, when they sign a 12-month lease with you, can you have them connect with me so I can get them on a home buying plan? That way, in 9 months, you can be able to buy a house. And then that 9th month, we're looking, that 10th month, and then we're closing by the time your lease ends, right? So we'll go more into that as well. But That is the biggest component. But no one's going to let me into their house or into their property management company, into their landlords. You know why? Because every year they get to upcharge your rent. So the most people making the most amount of money in real estate right now are landlords, because they are able to increase their rents 2 to 4 to 5+% every year. So imagine owning a property and every year you're like, I can pretty much know I'm going to get more money, more money, more money, more money. And that's how landlords, property management companies, investors make their money. And that's okay. The cost of living does go up, but you don't want to be the person that's always stuck having to make somebody else wealthy. You want to be the person that's doing that for yourself. Okay. So last part of this is going into our down payment assistance program. This program that I am so excited about. One, you just need a 640 credit score. If you have a 600 credit score, I do have other down payment assistance programs, but they don't offer this low of interest rate. So if your credit score is not at 640, connect with me and I can give you actual tips to get your credit score up. I've helped people within 2 weeks get anywhere between a 40 to 60 point jump. We had to do a rapid rescore. And this is only available to mortgage loan officers. Like, you can't go and do this on your own. You can't connect with the credit bureaus and say, hey, I paid this debt off. Can you update my credit like tomorrow? Me as a loan officer, I can go to all 3 credit bureaus and update your debt that you paid off and update your credit score and get you pre-qualified. That's one of the benefits of why I like my job and what I do, because there are certain things that you can do, but not all loan officers would do them. Not all loan officers are going to tell you about them. In some cases, they'll say, hey, it costs money. It's not free. But we take that debt on. But if I know that my client's going to be qualified, I know it's going to get them into a house, I will invest into my clients. It's just who I am. And I know that it's going to be a win-win, where especially if my client, which is why I'm saying prepare, wait till the last minute and they have nowhere to go. Their lease is ending and we need this extra 5, 10, 20 points. And I know whatever's going to do is going to provide that. I'm going to do what I need to do. I don't want my clients to be in a position where they don't have a roof over their head. So that is like the biggest component for me, to see like, okay, how can I leverage my knowledge, my wisdom, my tools to help my clients if they do get in a sticky situation. Please, family, soul family, sisters, brothers, all of us, especially our next generation, you guys can do better. You do not have to wait till the end of your lease to figure things out. So another big part of this with that is that your income that you make, this particular down payment assistance program maxes out at about 136 to 140,000. So depending on how many people live in your home. So that's if there's if there's 3 or more people that live in it, and that includes kids, children. It includes family members. It includes brothers, sisters. If you have some of, parents living in your home, anybody that lives in the house, as long as there's 3 or more people, you qualify for up to 136,000 in annual income. So that is a big part in that. And we can check if your income is higher than that, then we can look at what other options we do have available. And if we necessarily are going to add, like who do we want to put on the mortgage in that place? I think we have to add every single person for this particular loan program, but there are other loan programs that you can decide who you want on the mortgage with you, depending on their income. The more income you make, obviously, the more purchase price you're going to get. So not having everybody on there can change how much you get qualified for. All right. So the big part of this program, down payment assistance, I'm not here to overwhelm you. I'm just here to give you some insights of how to start. How to begin. I don't expect you to remember all of these tools, but if you can have some golden nuggets of how to begin in your real estate journey, in going from renting to owning, I did my job. And if you go and you decide, hey, I want to be able to not just buy, I want to get into a multifamily. Like, I've helped families get into like 2, 3, 4 units. There's so many opportunities. The whole idea is, hey, can I talk to you about my dreams? Having a conversation with somebody that is willing to listen and help you guide you to your dreams in this arena. Don't leave out real estate investing in your dreams. This is so important. So, this is my wealth wisdom. I'm going to be sharing more every single week. I might be changing the time from 9 a.m. because it's a little early for me. Let me tell you, I was like, oh man, 8 in the morning, I got to start getting ready. I'm like, this is a lot. But I might be moving it to 10 a.m. Because to me, I want to be in a place where I don't feel rushed to deliver. And this is what it's important. I don't want you to feel rushed when your lease is ending. I don't want you to feel rushed if you have to buy a house, sell your house. I don't want you to feel rushed in investing. I want you to feel prepared. And if you can be prepared, knowing this is what you're qualified for, knowing this is what my closing costs are, this is what my down payment's going to be, you're solid, because I've already worked with so many families that I know this is not going to work. You got to fix this. You got to change this. We got to update this. This is what gets us to the finish line. And because, as you can see behind me, all these pictures, I know how to get people to the finish line. It's my job. This is what I do. So my goal is to get you, like these families behind me, to the finish line, and being able to support you and educate you and inspire you to get uncomfortable, to add real estate to your investment strategy in 2025. Get out of renting and paying and giving someone else all your money, and take advantage of these down payment assistance programs. I wish I had these programs when I was looking for my properties. I don't necessarily qualify for this particular one based on my income, but this is 5.7 and they're giving me $20,000 to buy a house. Hello. This is an opportunity, and I don't have to pay it back. It's not a second lien on my house. These are those opportunities. This fund runs out. It is not a forever fund. I think it runs out within the next 3 to 6 months, if that. They're saying even sooner, because of how many people are taking advantage. I just put 2 houses under contract this weekend with this particular program. So I'm going back out this weekend with more families. This is what it is. I want to see you come up. I want to see you get ahead and take advantage of these opportunities. So reach out to me, connect with me. If you want to get our lease countdown, you want to connect and see about your credit, you want to see about what your monthly payment would be, you want to see how much house you could purchase, or you're thinking about selling your house and you want to kind of get some information on what my house is worth, or maybe you should rent out your house, keep it as an asset, refinance or do a HELOC, and HELOC, not refinance, HELOC, and then buy an investment property or get yourself another property. Leverage your equity to build wealth. And I just helped a family do that. They were able to get all their money out of their house, buy their new house, get cash flow. We put a renter in there. But that will be another episode. My goal is to teach you guys everything that I know, teach you everything that I've helped other families, everything that I have within me. So then that way you can take that to your children, take that to your family, and you don't have to feel confused about building wealth with real estate. I want you to feel like, oh, this is just like going to the grocery store. I understand my budget. I understand if I add another debt, it's going to take away from my purchasing power. My goal is to help you make this easy. And that's what I'm here for. So ask me away, ask any questions, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you guys every week and sharing more insights on how we can build wealth through real estate. And most of all, that we can build a safe space through building together. All right, big hugs and love to you guys. Go ahead and share this with family and friends that they're renting, and feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. I'm here for you. Bye.